I went to the library recently. I picked up some books. I went there with the intention of picking up a couple books for the, well, for me to read, obviously, but to pick up books specifically to judge the next round in the BookTube prize categories. I am going to be reading books from category Fiction D. I read from the nonfiction last round, and I'm so excited about these books. Here's the thing. It was really difficult for me to judge books from that round. I'll link you to that video below. I enjoyed all of those books. There was nothing below a 4-star rating for me, and fortunately or unfortunately, the books that are in this fiction category, 4 out of the 6 were on some sort of a TBR for me. They're either in my Libby TBR list, my Hoopla TBR list, or they're on Cloud Library, or they're just books that I've been like, I want to read that. 2 of the books I hadn't heard of. So we're going to start there with those 2 books. And I picked up, I also have 1 book I'm waiting on from the library, so I should be getting that in a week or so. LOL. Yeah, this video that you're watching, it was recorded like a week ago, and yeah, of course I got a love note from the library that says, hey, that book arrived. So this is Swimming in the Dark, and I'm kind of nervous now because it is listed as a romance. We're gonna talk about all the books that I picked up recently from the library. So I've only got 2 of the books from that are on that list. Again, it's Group D, Fiction Group D in the BookTube prize. So I'll link you to the spreadsheet below. That it's a PDF that Robert put together for the awards, so you can follow along. You could read along with me, or if you're reading from this group, let me know, because we're reading buddies. I just shook my camera. Okay, the first book I'm planning to pick up, I am picking it up because I'm like, Love After Love, Ingrid, that's a P, right? Prasad. Ingrid Prasad. This looks like that cover from that Twilight knockoff book. The one about Harry Styles. You know? Yeah. And I don't like that title. I'm not into romance, and I'm afraid that that's what I'm getting. And the next book that I'm going to show you is allegedly a romance. This book, oh, I'll give you the little blurb thingy. An electrifying novel of an unconventional family in Trinidad, mended by their individual and collective quest for love. I'm probably going to like this book the most, but I'm just afraid that it's like, it looks like a romance, and I'm just like... So the next book on my list, first of all, this is one of 2 books that I just read this article. I'll link you to the article. It was an NPR article in which I was recommending books for book clubs. The other book, which was Why Fish Don't Exist, it's nonfiction, that was already on my TBR, and I actually do physically have that book. That's not a book that I'm going to be reviewing, but the 2 books that he recommended for these book club picks, the first one is Swimming in the Dark, and that is the book that I'm waiting on from the library, and the other one is Paragon, which I know absolutely nothing about. An epic story rooted in real-life friendship between 2 men united by loss. So, okay. And it's also cool format, and it has, like, I saw illustrations, or, yeah, there's stuff in here. And then the next, I got 2 other books from this is basically my TBR for the month of April. The next 2 books are on, one of which was already on my TBR. I think it was actually in my TBR on Libby. I walk in and I couldn't help but point, like, you are coming home with me, because it was sitting right there, and that's like the second time in recent memory that I walk in and, oh, look, there's a book I really want to read. Sorry. And this is about, I think it's a mother-daughter witch. A mother and daughter with a shared talent for healing and conjuring curses are at the heart of this dazzling first novel. And that is, yeah. And this was staring right at me as I walked through the door, and it said, "You're coming home with me." I mean, this may be a book that I end up renewing. I'll definitely get to the 3 books for the BookTube Prize challenge. I guess I call it a challenge, because, I mean, that's top priority. And I want to get through as much as I can before I need to rank the books. And then the next book, I saw the cover and I went, ooh, that's beautiful. Oh, yikes. And then I saw the title and I was like, ooh, that is tantalizing. And then I opened it up and I read, set in an unarmed slum in modern day Argentina, a young woman has the compulsion to eat earth that gives her visions of murdered and disappeared. And that is all I needed. So this is also a translated work, so could always use more of that in my life. This was translated from Spanish by Julia Sanchez. So that's everything that I picked up from the library. Let's also talk, because I have other books that I need to read. Scott and Nell's book club is going on. I'm not sure if I'm going to be picking the book up, and that is Terra Nullis, and that is it's a good book for Aussie April. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pick up the book. It's only available through my library as an ebook, and I'm not really in the mood for ebookage. I really want to read physical books right now. And but I am also involved with the Kim over at Middle of the Book March has a group going on. We are reading the Thomas Cromwell series. By Hilary Mantel, we're reading Wolf Hall. And I started reading this. I'm like halfway through the first section that we're reading like one section per week for now. And we should be done with this sometime early next month. Or whatever. But anyway, I started reading it and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And this is my trash copy, so I am writing in it and highlighting, although these are those like fancy Sharpie highlighters. Are they Sharpie? No, they're Pilot friction, and they're erasable, and they really do erase. I've heard the only problem with these is that if you leave it like in a car or anywhere that gets too hot, it will disappear. So if you use them in textbooks, remember that. Don't leave it in your hot vehicle or your notes will go bye-bye. But anyway, I'm on chapter 11, so I'm almost halfway through that first group, section. Anyway, we're reading this. So, and then the last 2 books that I know I'm going to get through, I only say I know I'm going to get through, well, I know I'm going to get through this one because I just finished it today. That's Sorrow by Tiffany DiBartolo, and I'm not going to spoil that, but yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed it, just like all of her other books. This is the least tragic of the grouping, but it's pretty good. And if you're in the mood for a romance that doesn't go the way that one expects or predicts, then maybe you should pick that up. I want to call it anti-romantic because that's more my jam. And then the last book, carryover from March, from my March Mammoth. I'm at the halfway point in this book, and I have a nice, I won't call it a long commute, but I do drive an hour 3 days a week during the work week, and I will be listening to this. I've been enjoying it. It's not like gonna be it might be a 4-star in the end. At this point, it's like a 3.5. I'm really enjoying the plot, and I'm really liking the dynamic of all the people that live in Middlemarch. But the writing, the writing's fine too. I'm really into the characters, but I don't like the language so much. It's a bit too, it's too much for me. Just the language itself, the what do you call it? Dialogue. The dialogue is very, I don't want to use the word pretentious, but that's the best way to describe it. It's too much for me. It's just, I like more modern text. So this is a little much. I'm actually surprised that I'm enjoying this as much as I did, because this is so far it's been funny, but I mean, I have like a million pages to go in that book, same as this one. So, but that's it. At least that's everything that I'm planning to get through, and I'm hoping that I can complete for the month of April. I keep wanting to say May. Don't know why. I'm just jumping through time. It's May here in my heart, in my head. But yeah, so that's it. You should subscribe to me to find out my thoughts on these and other books, and someday I will post another video. Until then, enjoy your day. What are you reading?